Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Wednesday morning. It's time now for a small business spotlight on your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Realty expert Adam Helgeson standing by with a guest. We'll talk to both of them right after this.
Life, with its many stages. From the "my little one has just arrived" stage to the "I have arrived" stage. From the first home you'll ever buy to the one home you'll have forever. No matter where you find yourself in life, your forever agent will be there. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
All right, and we are back on this Wednesday morning. Please welcome everybody, realty expert Adam Helgeson, to the studio. How are you, bud?
Doing awesome as always.
Yep. Been a few weeks. How have you been?
I'm doing good. Busy.
Yeah?
Busy.
That mean you're selling houses?
Yes. And
Good.
listing houses. Yes, I have like 9 listings coming up. It's crazy.
Oh, well, I guess that's better than none.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good. Now, we had talked earlier, and you decided you're going to start highlighting small businesses in the area, so that's why we call it Small Business Spotlight. But I'm going to kind of let you take over here. Let's see what you got going on.
Yeah. Along with me is a awesome gentleman. Kind of consider him a friend. Our daughters are good friends. He pimped out my boat, you know.
Oh, okay. So he'll get a round of applause then, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Why don't you introduce him for us?
The one and only Jay Hubbard.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Jay owns Sound Decision here in town. Kind of your one-stop shop for all your automotive audio and car starters and all sorts of different stuff.
You know, I always see boats and side-by-sides and UTVs and all that kind of stuff there. So there's more to it than just doing cars and pickups, right?
Yeah. It's morphed in a lot of boat audio, UTV audio, accessories, lights, a lot of things we do. A lot of things, yeah.
So when you talk lights, I know you said that earlier. What do you, like the glow lights underneath, or what do you?
Yeah, that's been a big part since the word, LED came out. That's the high efficiency, high output lights. So people all want that. It's either accent, cool lights, or function of, some, the LED light bars for off-road and different things like that. Accent lighting, interior cars, boats, UTVs, that's been a big part. That's really become popular.
So you can set the mood with the lighting, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So what you're saying is don't buy those $10 Chinese ones like the kids have in their bedrooms and stick all over the inside of your boat.
Yeah, that's that's where it kind of started, and we've found that
Gorilla tape.
Doesn't work very well in the applications we do. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think your kind of favorite project, or what do you like working on the most? You think?
This time of year is probably my favorite. I do like when the boats come out. Spend a lot of time. Grew up at the lake, so it's fun. Sitting in, yes, I am working, but I can imagine that I'm out on the water and what this is going to do for that customer, or how fun this is going to be to, turn up when it's time to get on the water,
Is it harder to wire a boat up for things like that than it is, say, a car or a pickup? Because I know just doing some of the work on my boat, even for like fishing electronics and stuff, it's harder than heck to try to fish wires through anywhere.
Yeah, some can be tough. You get in those bigger boats, and it depends on the brand. If some of them are, the wires are exposed, you get right to them. A lot of them have channels, or they're up in the, some of the big Ranger boats are full of foam, so you can't run a wire if it's not already there. It can definitely be a challenge.
Wow, I bet.
So, with the fishing boats, I suppose you don't see many people doing the subwoofers and that type of stuff.
Yeah, fishing boats, we've done a lot of fishing boats too, but yeah, not a lot of subwoofers, more just the basic stereo. A lot of guys that have those nicer boats do like some sound, but it's not as crazy as, we get into the wakeboard boats or the runabouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you were just saying that a guy came in with a $100,000 boat and it didn't even have a radio.
Yeah, brand new Lund boat, and we do a lot of work with the dealers around the area, so we hear every version and how they order them and what they can do, and if we can do something better, and we always can. But this guy called and was like, my last one had a really nice stereo. I liked it, didn't have to do anything. This one doesn't even have an actual radio, so now we're just going to start from scratch and put one in for him.
Wow.
So.
That might be somewhat easier, because then you can put the speakers where you want and kind of do your own placement.
Yeah, that does help to where we can. Sometimes in those boats they'll bury them up under the console or something. You can't really hear them, so it's nice to start out and put them where they should be.
Yeah,
So.
I remember I saw on Facebook. He's got an awesome Facebook page, by the way. If you're listening, there's a link in the bio. he had a guy brought in, was it an F-250 or an older F-150 on a Raptor? It was like a Raptor suspension, a Raptor undercarriage with an older. That thing looked so badass.
Wow.
I was really jealous.
Yeah, it was a sweet. That's one of the cooler, nicer builds we've worked on. That was like a 2011 F-150 that they put I believe it was a 78 crew cab, like an F-100 chassis on it and grafted it together somehow. And some of those we've seen, some of them are like, oh, you get under there behind the panels and it looks like, lack of better words, garbage because it just isn't done right in somebody's side of the backyard. This was done really, really well. And it was a little nerve-wracking, like what's it going to look like when we get into it, but it was inside was just like a Raptor. Everything worked out, and we put a full stereo in it. We left a factory touchscreen Raptor radio in it and put 4 speakers sub amp in it, and it sounded really, really nice. Wow. He was happy. Yeah, really happy.
Yeah, and sometimes with these new factory systems too, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just fine tune them and add here and there, right?
Yep. That's kind of another thing outside that is outside of boats and UTV right now is factory integration. Using factory head units, a lot of touch screens, different things. It's hard to replace those sometimes, and it's just easier to use that because it looks nicer. It's their cost as a factor, of course. Add speakers, subs, whatever you want to them. So
he installed the sound system into Paul the producer's pickup.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah. now that I see you in the corner over there, I can. Yeah.
Yep. Kids these days will never understand how cool it was to have an old head unit with the CD player and a detachable face.
Oh yeah,
because you didn't want people breaking in your car and stealing your radio.
Stealing them. Yeah, you want to keep that radio that you paid a bunch of money for. That you. Yeah.
Yep. And are you? It seems like now the younger generation, maybe I don't know. They're into the. I mean, I was a bass player for years. But the bass you hear on some of these stereos now, I mean, you can hear the bass coming down the street 5 blocks before you even see the car. How do you prefer to listen to your music? Are you that type?
Depends on the day, I guess.
Sure.
That actually came up in my mind of what we're going to talk about today. And some people are like, oh, you put those loud stereos and you can hear them coming down the road. Yeah, we do that, But I like to have a well-rounded system where, there's some bass there. And
right.
If I roll the windows down, you're going to hear me coming from a little way, maybe not as far away as some of them, but
sure.
We do that, but there's a lot of other stuff we do on the audio end where it rounds out to where everything sounds. We're more sound quality versus huge bass.
Yeah,
we do.
It's all your fault that these people come driving around with these loud stereos.
You know, blame sound decision. Yeah, that's part of what we do.
I used to have people blame me in radio. This sound sucks, and I'd say, hey. You know what? This song, it's only on for a couple minutes. Turn the channel. That's what those buttons are for.
Yeah.
But turn it back in a couple of minutes, you know?
Right. Yeah. People got the 215s in the back of a rusted out car, and the whole thing's just vibrating.
The whole thing's shaking, and that's all you can hear is the bass. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, I have another customer. I was helping him look for a lake home. And he buys a new Raptor every other year. And he says the first thing he does is he drives from the dealership over to Sound Decision to get the stereo upgraded. And he's in his mid to late 40s, you know. I'm 43 and I got subs in my truck. My wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I like music. I like, my whole system is pretty much all factory except I added some extra bass. You know what I mean? Just to give that." And it's funny because I got the control knobs, and when you turn it down back to the factory settings, you're like, "Who would listen to this crap?" You know what I mean? It's just it's kind of sad. But one other thing I wanted to touch on, I deal with a lot of military clients and stuff. When fall comes around, people start thinking about, oh shit, it's going to get cold soon. I bought a house without a garage, or I'm at work. I just moved here from Alabama. How am I not going to freeze my butt off? They have a good selection of auto starts too. Do you want to touch on?
Yeah, auto starts. A lot of people think Sound Decision is in our name, sound, but we do a ton of other things, and auto starts is a huge thing. That's kind of our bread and butter. We get a lot of people from the air base that come in because they're scared that they're going to literally, they might actually die because it's so cold here. But it's, they come in and we try to film and, get a good jacket. And the people tell them to get an auto start because it's good for your car, keeps it warm, whatnot. But we still are and have been, probably one of the bigger just remote start leaders in the area, even upper Midwest for numbers and purchases with the vendors we use. But Yeah, we do probably over 1,000 auto starts a year.
Wow.
That's a big thing is in the wintertime, we're stacked up pretty good. We're doing 10, 12 auto starts a day.
Wow.
Probably solid 3 months of the year. And then actually this last couple of weeks, we've had a run of auto starts too because people are buying new cars or trading them in. So they know that, hey, I don't want to wait in the winter. Let's just get it done. And,
I was just going to say that. You know what I mean? If you're new to the area, get it now. Don't wait until everyone else is in demand. You know, it's like getting your snowblower serviced during the first snowfall.
Yeah.
It's probably not the best idea.
And, you know, I also hear this. In fact, I just talked to a lady I know that got a new car, and they were going to put the auto start in, and she said, no, I don't want a factory auto start because there's better. Is that the right thing to do? For one thing, I don't know what the factory is going to rape you with, you know, putting an auto start in, but they're not as good as what you guys install either.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too. Is we put just as many, you know, aftermarket remote start systems we offer in vehicles that have a factory auto start already because it came with the vehicle or they didn't know, or, you know, you're limited with factory of the runtime, how far you can start it from. You know, the app-based phone thing is very popular too. We do offer that on the aftermarket side to where, you know, factory does come with that. A lot of cars have that too, but it is expensive to run. Some of the apps are kind of cumbersome to use, where ours are easier, it's a lot less expensive. Sure. So in the end of the day, and people like to have a physical remote too, and price is better, features are better, longer run time, so it is smart to, you know, if you're used to it, to have an aftermarket over, you know, factory stuff.
Now, I got a question. I had a young lady move up here from Hawaii. It was her first winter. She had a little, I can't remember what it was, little Kia, but it was a manual. Can you throw an auto start in a manual? I know you don't see that much anymore.
Good question.
People don't know how to, you know, drive a stick anymore, but those that do.
Yeah, I just had a guy the other day, we worked on like a Camaro. He's like, do you guys know how to drive stick shift? Like, well, we do. Yeah. And he's like, you don't see them much anymore. Exactly. That's a good point. But yes, we do manual transmission vehicles. We don't see many of them, but yes, we can do manual transmission vehicles.
Should have answered 4 on the floor or 3 on the tree. What are you talking about?
I had
Get his head spinning.
I had a 3 on the tree when I was in high school.
First thing I learned how to drive was a 3 on the tree.
I loved it because I could leave the keys in the ignition and no one would steal it. They hopped in, they thought it was an automatic, and then they saw a clutch. They're like, what the hell
is this thing?
See, I'm dating myself because back in my day, everybody knew how to drive a 3 on the tree.
Actually, I bought it from your dad.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Did you?
The old 69 Ford sitting in that lot in Crookston. You got it for $400, but it had no brakes.
Oh, boy.
So I had to be careful driving it home. Yeah, well, I mean, so we got a few minutes left. Jay, I don't know if you want to give us your, you know, elevator pitch. Like what?
Give the spiel.
Give your spiel. Like what makes you the go-to spot?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've been around, or we've been here 18 years. I've had Sound Decision open for 18 years, open in 2006. I've been doing it for myself since I was a sophomore in high school. And I was looking at that, like that really dates me, but that was 1995. Put every stereo in every friend of mine's car that I could think of, and then basically ended up working for Team Electronics. That's a good shout out. That they basically said, hey, you're putting all the stereos in town that we're selling, so why don't you just come work for us? And I'm like, all right, well, that was a good stepping stone for me and learned a lot of things. Went to UND and got my entrepreneurship degree, and then that morphed into like, hey, I can do this on my own, and turned into Sound Decision, and that's where it came from. I think it's experience. That's a big thing with these cars and things today, is you need to have experienced people that know what they're doing and also stand behind where they're at, to where we've been here 18 years. It's been a long time. We still have people that come in that, hey, I had a system put in 10 years ago. Can you still work on it or warranty it? Or like, yeah, we have a lifetime warranty. Bring it in. We'll do what we can to get it going, make sure it's still working. Or if there are any issues, we're here to help you after the fact too. Where a lot of places won't do that now. We still fix a lot of things other places do because they won't fix it. And like, oh, I have no problem fixing that either. So I think it's just quality work, and the products we do sell, I make sure they do work. That's the main thing, where I don't want to see you later unless you want to come buy something more. I don't want to fix it again. So, but and I guess customer service is the main factor, and installations is a big factor too. Is quality installation, service after the sale, kind of my models, I guess. So,
you know, I got to say, I used to install car stereos too. I know how to do it, but I still brought my stuff to him. You know what I mean? It's just nice, and you know what I mean. Like I said, my boat, we had one little issue just because when the engine was running, we were getting some feedback and brought it in. He just, that was what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've seen a lot of different things, and we learn over the years what you got to do to fix things, and it's nice to have that knowledge base, and we have a lot of tools in the industry that helps us. Like, oh, there is an issue. Okay, let's look at this and get this taken care of, and we're good to go.
You wouldn't advise going to the 16-year-old working in the back bay at Best Buy? I'm just kidding.
The 16-year-old expert?
Maybe not.
If he has a question, he'll ask the 17-year-old expert.
And that's kind of why I wanted to spotlight these small businesses, because you go to these big box stores and they have the stuff there, right? And Lowe's can install your flooring, but is it as good as someone that's been doing it for that long?
Right.
You know what I mean? These small local businesses, you get the service after the sale, you get the one-on-one relationships and that type of stuff.
You get to the point where when they say Sound Decision, people know exactly who you're talking about.
Exactly.
And that takes a while.
It does, and he's done it. I got to say, they're one of the best. So that's why I decided to bring him on.
Good small business spotlight today.
Yeah. Any last things you want to add?
I just thank you guys for having me on. It's been a good time and
Yeah, not a problem.
excellent.
All right, if somebody wants to get a hold of Sound Decision, phone numbers, websites, anything?
Yep. SoundDecisionND.com is a website. We're on Facebook, Instagram, 701-738-0713. You can also text us on that number if you want a message over call. We got a lot of ways to get a hold of us.
All right, and if somebody wants to get a hold of realty expert Adam Helgeson, how do they do that?
Best way is my cell phone, 701-317-1750. Check out the website, homesbyhelgeson.com.
And we will see you in 2 days, Friday morning.
Sounds good.
There you go, Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast, your small business spotlight with Jay Hubbard of Sound Decision, and of course your realty expert Adam Helgeson. Adam will be back Friday morning, 10 o'clock on another Berkshire Hathaway podcast.